I was going to wait until a few people pop on here so that I can start telling y'all what's kind of been on my heart. So, I'll just wait just a minute till some of you guys get on here. I have been a basket case all day, so I am probably gonna cry, so hopefully no one is gonna laugh at me for that, because I'm not a beautiful crier like the ones on TV. But anyways, I'm gonna get down to it. I see some of y'all are on here. Hey Arturo, hey Bethany, hey Erica, hey Jamie. Okay, so I have been really, hey Kirsten, I've been really going through a lot this week, and it's really felt like the worst week of my life. It's been really bad, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail because the bad and the hurt is not what this video is about. So I'm going to get right down to it. But today was just a little too much for me. I went to work, and I knew I needed to get out of the house and I needed to go see my kids. So I went, and I could only make it through one, and then I just broke down and wanted to come home, because that's what you want to do when you're hurting, you know, is just go home and lay down on the couch and do nothing. So I did that. I came home, and when I got home, I made myself eat something, and then when I'm hurting and I'm depressed or I'm struggling with something, I'm very thankful that I have went through a lot of crap, and I have tried out a lot of things to try to numb the pain and try to push through, and all of those ways that I tried never worked. So I'm glad that I made those mistakes and that I did those things, because now I know what works, and I know that God is always what works, and His Word and His love and His sermons and praise and worship, like those are the only things that work and get me through my hurt. And has any of you ever been through times like that where you're just hurting and you have no idea what you are gonna do, and you just feel so overwhelmed by life and by your circumstances that you just have no idea what you're gonna do or how you're gonna get over it or how you're gonna get through it? Is anybody else like that? If you are, just give it a thumbs up or something, because I feel like this is for you. Like, this is going to be for you, especially if you're going through this right now. So, anyways, I was having a really bad day, and I came home, and I was like, you know what? I am really struggling with feeling love, and I'm so blessed with so many people around me that love me, but I struggle with that. If there's a negative circumstance or a bad circumstance, I really struggle with feeling truly loved and like knowing that I'm loved. I really struggle with that. Even though I've had the most amazing parents in the world, I struggle with feeling loved and loving myself too. So when a circumstance happens, or like in the past when I've been rejected by someone I have loved or whatever, like it really takes a toll on me, and I've really struggled with that. So anyways, I came home, and I just decided, you know what, I need to be reminded of God and His love for me, because I don't know if I've ever truly, fully understood God's love for me. So I came home, and I put on The Passion of the Christ, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched that. If you've watched that, raise your hand. The Passion of the Christ. It is an absolutely unbelievable movie, but I put it on, and of course, like, I just bawled the entire time, hence the face. But I just wanted to show you like a revelation that I had during that time that just really, thank you, Erica, that just really like opened my eyes to something. So in the movie, it starts out with Jesus in the garden, and here comes the tears, here comes the crying, so please just listen. But it starts out with Jesus in the garden, and He's praying, and in this movie they did such a good job of like grasping how He must have really felt, like Jesus, like He was so tormented and so scared and so fearful and so like just caught up with emotions and overwhelmed with emotions because he knew what was set before him. He knew the pain that he was going to have to endure, and he knew the rejection that he was going to face. And I love you, Ashton. And he knew the physical torment that he was going to have to endure. He knew what was coming. And you know, I don't feel so bad and feel guilty whenever I face a circumstance that I'm scared to go through. And I ask God for something else, you know, like, please don't let this happen. Like, have you ever been there where you don't want to go through something? Like, you just don't want to because you know how bad it's going to hurt. And Jesus felt that. Jesus felt that. And he was also feeling all of the feelings and emotions that I face because he was human, just like me. So he felt all of these. And even Jesus in his moment, even Jesus asked God, like, if there's any other way, please, no, don't let me go through this. So even Jesus asks that. So that's so human for you guys to ask. If you're going through a tough circumstance or something horrible, it's okay to ask that doesn't happen. Okay, that's not wrong. But here's where Jesus is so much different than I was. And Jesus says, but, there's a but, like, please don't let me go through this. Like, this is gonna hurt, and this is gonna be painful, and I'm gonna be rejected, and I'm gonna feel pain, but, not my will, not what I want, Lord, but your will be done. And see, I had, like, an epiphany, I felt like, in that moment, like, God, Jesus didn't want to go through it. He didn't want to go through all the pain, but he was willing to suffer and be rejected and be torn to shreds and be rejected by these people that he loved, and all he did was pour his heart into and be kind to. And so it would be so hard for me if I was in Jesus' place to know what was before me, to know all of what I was going to go through. It would be so hard for me to be like, okay, God, I know this is going to be hard and this is going to really suck, but I'm going to do it anyways because I trust you, because I love you, and because I know how much you love me. And you would never ask me to go through something if this is not what needed to happen, you know? So, that just makes me trust God even more, seeing that Jesus absolutely knew 100% what was going to happen to him, but yet he still followed through with it because he knows God's love for him. And to me, like, that kind of gives me motivation, because if Jesus can do it, and he went through so much more than I could ever go through, then I know that I can do this. So Jesus trusted him enough and believed him enough despite his emotions. It's okay to have emotions, you guys. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay. We're human. It's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be angry and upset and hurt, and it's okay. But he didn't let his emotions control his decision. He knew what he needed to do, and he followed God's will. And he went through with that, you know? So he didn't run away. He didn't try to make excuses. He didn't try to avoid anything at all. He went through it anyways. He submitted, and he had faith in God's greater plan. And, you know, when I think about it too, like, I did a little research on it, and what seemed to probably last a whole lifetime for Jesus, it was 12 hours, and 12 hours of pure torture, like unimaginable, unspeakable torture that he went through. Those 12 hours is what I found. And that feels like so long, like such an awful long time. In that moment, I can't imagine what he would go through and the feelings that he had. But he spent those 12 hours doing the hard part, the torment, the pain, the hurt. He spent those 12 hours. And then And then after those 12 hours, he became victorious. And now he lives in eternity on the right hand of God, like living the best life. And he even says, like before he goes, he tells the man next to him on the cross that he was going to be in paradise with him. So paradise, he spent 12 hours in pure torture for an eternity on the right hand of God. And to me, like, that makes me feel like I might have to go through this. I might have to go through my pain and my hurt in this circumstance. I might have to go through that right now. But God has a greater plan for you, and God has a greater plan. Like, something is coming. So buckle down and go through it. If Jesus can get through what he went through, then we can get through what we're going through, you know? And I wrote this down, and I said, if we can just push through the pain that may seem overwhelming and so long-lasting, we will be able to find out what God truly has in store for us. If we can just push through and do what we need to do, you know. And I know, like, Dwayne Sheriff at our conference, he'd been talking about how, you know, we need to count it as joy when we encounter tribulations and trials. And I'm not necessarily saying that I'm at that spot where I can just count this as a joy and count it as a joy, but I'm to the point where I'm going to have faith, and I'm waiting for my feelings to catch up, but I'm going to have faith in my situation, that even though it seems so hopeless and so heartbreaking, like so painful, I'm going to have faith. I'm going to have faith that something, God has something planned. God has a plan, and he's always going to pull through, and he always, always has what's best for us in store. Always, always. So I just have to remember that. I just have to remember that. We all just have to remember that. We all just need to have faith and remember that what we're going through right now, God doesn't want to see us go through this. It's not God's fault. It's not God's fault. He doesn't bring these trials and these tribulations upon us, but they're going to happen. It's life. This is life. Whether you're a non-believer or a believer, you're going to go through some sucky times in your life. And the difference is, when we go through those, you guys, we have something to look forward to, and we have something that we can put our faith in. And I'm not going to let what I'm going through defeat me and tear me down and pull me away from God. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hurt. I'm going to hurt, and I'm going to feel these emotions, but I am going to trust God, and I'm going to have faith in God. And I just wanted to declare that, and I wanted to show everybody else that you can still have faith in God and still hurt. Like, you can still have faith in God and still be overwhelmed by physical and mental, like, emotions. That is okay, you know, but I'm going to have faith, and eventually the more I have faith and the more I speak positive affirmations and the more I speak God's word into my life, the more that these feelings are going to catch up to that faith, and the more my tears are going to turn into smiles, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So I just had I had an awful day, and that awful day led to this amazing, amazing revelation for me. And I just wanted to share that because I know I'm not the only one that goes through hard times. I'm a counselor, for goodness sake. So I hear so many bad, awful, awful stories. And I just wanted to share that, like, God has so much in store for all of us, and he has a happy ending for everybody. Any circumstance you're going through, no matter how hopeless or how tiring and hurtful it might be, God has an amazing plan. He has something good coming on the other side, and he's right here with you. I don't have to go through this alone, and that is so amazing that even when I'm in my home and I'm by myself, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I have someone paving the way for me, and if I can just look to him and have faith in him, even if my situation gets worse tomorrow, I'm going to have faith. And you know, when on the Passion of the Christ, it showed very vivid pictures and video of God getting tortured, Jesus getting tortured and just mutilated and tormented, and the whole time I'm just thinking, why would you go through that? Why would he go through that for me? Like, I am not worth that. Have you ever felt that way? Because watching what he went through, reading in the Bible what he went through, I felt like I'm just not worth that. Why would you do that, God? Why would you do that for me? For me, like, I know who I am and what I've done. Why would you do that for me? And I just got this revelation, and it's because he loves me. And love is a term that I've really had a hard time with, and I'm starting to really understand right now the true meaning of love. Unconditional, deep, true love. And he loves me, and he loves you. He loves you just as much as he loves me. And here's another thing, you guys. Look how much God loved Jesus. Like, God loved Jesus so much, and Jesus knew that, and he wasn't afraid to go through anything because of how much he knew that his Father loved him. And guess what? We are Jesus's brothers and sisters. He loves none of us more than the other one. He loves us just as much as he loves Jesus, and he loves you just as much as he loves me. And that is just so hard for us to comprehend sometimes because of how maybe we've been treated in the past, or abandoned, or rejected, or hurt, or, whatever. But God, love is going to be the topic of my next few devotionals and Bible studies, because I want to know more about this kind of love. And what helps me get through all of this is, no matter what, I am truly, deeply, unconditionally loved, and I am wanted by the greatest human being that ever lived on this earth, and that's Jesus. I am wanted and loved so much by him. I am loved so much that that love right there that he has for me is enough. That love he has for me is enough. I don't need from any other human being on this planet, because Jesus' love should be enough for me. And that is what I am going to be working on. And I'm just going to make those claims that I'm going to have faith no matter what I go through, no matter the circumstances, no matter how bad life seems to get. I'm going to have faith that God has something in store, and God is right here with me, guiding me into something wonderful and something amazing. So I had to share that with you, because I know out of all of my friends that somebody is going through something probably even worse than I am. So please just take this and study it for yourself, because hearing it from me is not going to do as good as if you read it from your own mouth and you hear it out of your own mouth. So I just had to share that, and I love you guys, and I hopefully am going to be doing some more of these when I get some more revelations on love and what it means, because right now I'm so thirsty for it. I can't stop thinking about love and God's love and reading about it and hearing about it. So I want to do more of these in the past, or not in the past, in the future. But I love you guys, and for now I'm going to get off here.